This could be episode 141 for you guys today. Once my guest Manny Wilson joins in with us, we'll go ahead and get today's episode started. What's up, Manny?
Hey, what's going on, man?
Not much, man. Glad to have you back on the podcast with me tonight, man.
Of course, me too, man. I'm always happy to be here. Super excited to join. Super excited to talk sports, all that, man. So, right. Yeah, I'm ready, bro.
I try to get the guy you were on last time with a spread on, but he was busy tonight, and then my guy Kurt was busy tonight too. So it would just be me and you for this episode. But we'll go ahead and get things started.
Okay. Yeah, all good. I'm excited. Let's do it.
All right. Hey guys, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. This is your host Thomas Tyree from Onthehop podcast. Today, this will be episode 141 for you guys today. Today, I'm joined by my guest, my guy coming all the way from Chicago, the host of the Run podcast, Manny Wilson. Manny has joined the podcast several times in the past, and it's been a luxury every time he's been on the show. Some great segments, some crazy takes, not from Manny, but just crazy takes and all. But it's great to have you back on the show, Manny.
Of course. I appreciate it, man. I'm glad to be here. Super excited to get started as always, man. It's an honor anytime I join your platform. So I'm just excited to go ahead, kick it with you for a little bit, and let's do it.
All right. So let's go ahead and get into the first segment. So we're sharing our Super Bowl predictions for this weekend Super Bowl taking place in the National Football League. You got the number one seed in the NFC, the San Francisco 49ers, taking on the third seed, the Kansas City Chiefs, and the AFC. Manny, who do you have winning this year's Super Bowl?
Bro, this year, I have the Kansas City Chiefs taking it all the way. Pat Mahomes is going to go get his third. Well, this is third, right? His third ring. I think he's going all the way. He's going to win his third ring. I think they're going to solidify their greatness even more. They're going to shut up all the doubters, all the haters that's hating on Big Tay-Tay, all the people that's hating on Chiefs Kingdom, all the people that's hating on what's another slogan they use? I don't know. But either way, I think the Chiefs is definitely going to take it this year, bro. Between Andy Reid, Travis Kelce, and Pat Mahomes, them three is solidifying their greatness time after time in every big game that we watch. And they've been doing this for the past 4 to 5 years. So I don't think it is now. I think this game here against the San Francisco 49ers is just going to add more and more to that legacy. And it's been proven they already beat the 49ers before. I know 49ers was a little bit different in terms of certain positions and stuff back in 2019. But I still don't think that they can hang with the in-game adjustments that Andy Reid, Pat Mahomes, them two that they make on that offensive end. And then, as I've been saying since probably week 9 of the NFL, the Chiefs' defense is underrated. People so focused on Pat Mahomes, Travis Kelce, Andy Reid, Isaiah Pacheco, all of these, they so focused on the offense because the offense is good that they forget, bro, the Chiefs' defensive line, they bring hella pressure. They got some dogs on there. The defensive backs, they lock in when it's time. I'm going with the Kansas City Chiefs to win this. I ain't going to give a spread because I'm not 100% sure about the spread or what it'll be, but I'm anticipating a good game for sure. But I think when push comes to shove, the Kansas City Chiefs are going to end up winning this ball game here.
Yeah, you had a lot of good points. I agree with you. I didn't really see this coming, but it's hard to it's really hard to count out the Chiefs, Patrick Mahomes, Andy Reid, Travis Kelce. I'm really surprised that they're really in the Super Bowl this year. Really how the offense looked shaky in the beginning of the season and how things have turned out. Like you said, the defense has been very underrated. They've been elite all season long. I think that's really been the backbone of this team, and I think that's one of the key reasons why they are in the Super Bowl this year. But I trust the Chiefs winning this game more than the 49ers. The 49ers have actually made some key mistakes in the playoffs. In their game against the Packers, they made mistakes in the divisional round. Then they found themselves down 24-7 to the Detroit Lions last week in the NFC Championship. So they can't make these. You making mistakes against younger teams of the Packers and the Lions. You're playing against a juggernaut in the Chiefs that have the Super Bowl rings and the experience. They've been here before. You can't do that against them. But I think the Chiefs' defense, I like Steve Spagnuolo's defense matching up against Kyle Shanahan's offense.
Yeah.
Like you said, they got some playmakers on the defensive side of the ball that I think is going to cause disruption to Kyle Shanahan's offense. I see the Chiefs giving them a lot of problems in man coverages, blitz packages. I see a lot for this game. But I think the way how the offense is going to play just well enough to get it done, but I think the defense is really going to bring it home for the Chiefs this year. But, yeah, I like the Chiefs this year for sure, matched up against the 49ers.
Yeah, I 1,000% agree with that. And then last thing, too, I want to add is something that you mentioned, too, like how the Chiefs, they started off looking rough early on in the season. Yeah. And I recently just said this on my past episode, but I really believe, bro, Chiefs done caught that bug of being hyped and playing in those high-intensity games. And what I mean by that is when we look at different sports, and I'm going to just relate this to basketball, like when we look at the Warriors dynasty and how dominant they were for some time, every time the season started over from the beginning, they got bored. They looked bad. They looked trash. Even LeBron, they started off the season just bad, like tired, just like whatever, until things started to heat up, but they was always in the playoffs. I really feel like that's what we've been seeing with the Kansas City Chiefs lately, like, because every time they start the season off, they're a little rough. They're a little shaky. People like, oh, my gosh, the Chiefs are 0-2. Oh, the world is about to end. And then all of a sudden, Chiefs playing in the Super Bowl again come this time around, back in January and February. Then they back in the Super Bowl. And they like, how did they do it? How did they clean up this mess? And it's like, bro, they're a talented team. It's just these games that don't really matter early in the season, sometimes they take those nights off. And I feel like the Chiefs, ever since they've been on this path of being a legit dynasty within this decade, they've been caught by that bug a little bit, because going into week 3, when you got to play the Las Vegas Raiders, you ain't really hyped up to do that. Like, you're like, oh, they not, this team ain't not that good. Or when you go play a Lions team that's clear, now they're different, but a team that's trying to prove themselves, you're like, okay, cool, another week against an average team. But that's a lot different compared to when you playing a team in February or January and it's win or go home. Then that's when we see the Kansas City Chiefs really lock in. And I think that's, at this point, it's fair. And I think us as media can start giving the Chiefs some sort of leeway to allow them to play bad early on in the season and really judge them by what they do when these games that really matter are intact and on television, and we watching them in win or go home situations. They've earned that leeway for us to judge them in the postseason and in these games that really matter, rather than week 1 and week 3 and stuff like that.
Yeah, I agree with that. They are one of those teams that take a while to get it figured out. And I'm really just shocked, but they turn it up a notch. Especially when it matters most, because I'm looking at their performances that they had, their 3 playoff wins they had against the Dolphins, the Bills, and the Ravens. That team, offensively and defensively, was nowhere to be found the whole entire regular season. The defense was there. The offense really wasn't productive, and they're doing enough to beat these teams when it matters most. So I agree with that take a lot, especially the Warriors. When they won it last, 2022, that's regular season. It took them a while to actually turn up a notch, and then when the season started to go down and the playoffs came, that's when they really became that elite team that we all knew the Warriors were. So I actually like that you mix that with basketball, generating that the football. Chiefs definitely are in that conversation because the Warriors are a dynasty team, and they always have that championship DNA in them, and then the Chiefs, same thing as well. So, yeah, I like that take a lot. I do.
Appreciate that.
Yeah. Real quick before we go on, the Washington Commanders hype, it's not good. Let me just say that. I think Cliff Kingsbury, I would rather have Eric Bieniemy calling offensive plays. I think Cliff Kingsbury just a guy has a lot of clout because he's called plays for Patrick Mahomes in college, Kyler Murray in college, and in the NFL for a little bit, and Caleb Williams just in college. So I think he just has history of working with notified quarterbacks, but like really doesn't really have success. I mean, we really did see what he did with the Cardinals. Really didn't move the needle there in Arizona. Yeah, so I'm not worried about the Commanders. Me being a Cowboys fan.
I 1,000% agree with you. This just goes back to what I say in everyday life, bro. It ain't about what you did and all of that all the time. Sometimes it's not about what you did and what you do. Sometimes it's just simply about who you know. And that is what we're seeing right now with Cliff Kingsbury, because he's known some great people to get him in some great situations. And credit to him, obviously he had to do the work he had to do to get there. But because he's well related or in a close relationship with Caleb Williams, that helps him out, because now they're like, okay, we can bring him on to help out this guy because he had that relationship with Pat Mahomes. They're like, okay, well, we can bring this guy because he worked with him as well. So it's like not necessarily, oh, he's done this in the NFL. He's done this. He's done this. It's more so, oh, well, he's well connected with these other guys who were good in college, and maybe he can relate that to the NFL. So it's like I'm not worried about the Commanders either. And as far as they got the number 2 pick right now, I don't think they need to trade. To me, Bears would be absolutely silly to draft Caleb Williams at number 1, especially 1, because they don't need a quarterback, and 2, because Caleb Williams in his camp said they do not want to play in Chicago. So to me, it does not make sense. But I know I'm a little off topic, but I'm going to just leave it at that. It would be silly to me. I think right now the Commanders have a clear shot at Caleb Williams, and they need to just go ahead and take him, bro. Like, and it ain't gonna make that much of a difference. He ain't even threw a pass yet in the NFL, so I'm not worried about him like that. Nah.
I do agree with that too. I am on the side of Justin Fields being in Chicago, and I think if he's not on that roster and they do go ahead and get Caleb Williams at the number 1 overall pick, I think it's just going to cause more friction in the franchise, and a lot of players like DJ Moore and several other players in that locker room are not going to be happy with that decision.
Fact. I mean, you wait to a point where DJ Moore and the rest of the team now got real comfortable with Justin Fields, and now you want to talk about sending them somewhere else? That's foolishness. That's foolishness. I don't get that. But I mean, the Bears, they notorious for doing stupid things. So who knows?
All right, so we're gonna move on to the next segment. We're going to be sharing our favorite Super Bowls in NFL history. I have a couple that I'm going to share when it's my turn. But, Manny, what are your favorite Super Bowls in NFL history?
Man, one of mine, I'm going to go as far as saying one of them was seeing Aaron Rodgers win a Super Bowl. I really enjoyed Aaron Rodgers winning that Super Bowl. It kind of made me like Green Bay Packers fan. Apparently, I recently found out I'm a bandwagon in the NFL. Apparently, I just found this out. This is new information to me, but apparently I'm a bandwagon NFL fan because I like too many damn teams. But it did make me like the Packers seeing Aaron Rodgers win that Super Bowl, and then I thought that defense was extremely well, too, during that time. But I'm going to just name 3 of them. That's one of them that I really cared about. Another one was the Saints playing the Colts. I don't remember what year, but
that was a good one.
Yeah, that was one of my favorites to watch, and I never forget, man. I was watching that game and I was cheering for the Colts. I'm like, Colts gotta win, bro. And when they lost, I was shedding tears, bro. I'll never forget that. I'll never forget that time. So that was a crazy Super Bowl. But I think the most memorable one for me is the Patriots and the Falcons. Because the whole season I was going for the Falcons. Like, I mean, as we've talked about before, I like the Falcons. I guess they're one of my bandwagon teams. Who knows? But I've always liked the Falcons. So I was cheering for them, going hard, bro. Lost my voice the first half because they was up 28-3. This is the Kyle Shanahan-led offense. This is part of the reason why I've been shaky about Kyle Shanahan sometimes, because I'm like, bro, they don't be knowing how to hold these leads sometimes. So, but man, watching that game, it was honestly greatness. Even though I was going for Atlanta, bro, it was just greatness, bro. Watching Tom Brady come back and really just dice up that Atlanta Falcons defense, I was really, really shocked. And then I'll just throw my honorable mention out there too. That Seahawks and Patriots Super Bowl as well, man. That was by far one of the most impressive Super Bowls as well. I was going for the Seahawks to win, meaning I think they faced off twice in the Super Bowl at some point, but the one where Malcolm Butler got the interception, man, that was absolutely insane. I recently watched, it was a clip where Belichick was talking about it, and they were talking about how they practiced, preparing for that type of situation all week long, and they just couldn't get it right until the final moment of the Super Bowl. It was it was such a dope clip, man, because they were talking about it, and Belichick was going on like, we're getting beat here every time on this route. And then they showed the film from practice. They was like, we can't fix this. Like, what is going? Like, we need to figure this out some way. And then it was kind of an on-the-fly decision to change it to what they did by switching and jumping the route. So it was super dope. But I think that's just an iconic moment. Even though I thought they should have handed the ball to Marshawn Lynch, which everybody in the world thought.
Yeah.
I thought it was just a great finish to a Super Bowl, which made the classic Super Bowl. So I think those are my three. Aaron Rodgers winning his Super Bowl ring. Then I went New Orleans Saints and Colts, whichever year that was. I think it was 2010 or 2011, that Super Bowl year. Atlanta Falcons blowing that 28-3 lead, and then the Seattle Seahawks and New England Patriots when they refused to hand the ball to Marshawn Lynch. That was just crazy. But I think those are my Super Bowl memories.
Yeah, those are some good ones. My first one may shock you being a Cowboys fan, but my first one, my favorite Super Bowl, was that 2007 Giants versus Patriots game. I mean,
I thought about that.
That was a classic. I mean, looking back at it, that was like a true David versus Goliath matchup. You had the 8-8 Giants, the true underdogs, taking on the 18-0 Patriots, counting their regular season undefeated streak, and then the 2 games they won the playoffs. Eli Manning versus Tom Brady, that was such an elite matchup. And then really, in my opinion, that Super Bowl, I don't think there's ever been a more clutch drive in NFL history than what Eli Manning did in that game-winning drive in that 2007 Super Bowl. To me, that's the best game-winning drive in NFL history. That throw he had, the David Tyree on 4th down, the winner-go-home situation, that helmet catch, man, that was one of the – I think that's the best catch in NFL history as well. But
and I don't want to interrupt, but I just want to add to why that game was amazing. That was 2008, right?
2008 or early 2008.
2008, bro. What makes this even more special is that Patriots team, they made history that season too. Like you said, true David versus Goliath, bro. They made history. They was undefeated that season. Correct me if I'm wrong. And then they didn't go to the Super Bowl because of they lost. They lost the Super Bowl because of the Giants, bro. It's crazy. Crazy.
Randy Moss and several others that were part of that team.
That team was loaded. That team was like, they were supposed to win. I mean, I'm pretty sure everybody was expecting them to go out there and win, but that was insane. That was insane.
I really think, looking back, I think that's the biggest upset in one of if not the biggest upset in Super Bowl history. That game was insane.
That was wild, bro. That was a wild ball game there.
I got 2 more. The second game would be that 2008-2009 season in the Super Bowl when the Pittsburgh Steelers played the Arizona Cardinals. Ooh. You had the quarterback duel of Ben Roethlisberger and Kurt Warner. I mean, man, if I was a Cardinals fan, I'd be heartbroken because really, I think if the Cardinals won that game, Kurt Warner would have retired on the spot. And he actually would have retired with 2 rings, and Larry Fitzgerald would have finally got his one and only ring, but he never got a Super Bowl ring.
Yeah.
That game was a classic. I mean, they had highlight play after highlight play. You had that James Harrison 100-yard pick six.
Crazy.
I don't think anybody's done that in the Super Bowl since then. That Larry Fitzgerald 64-yard touchdown reception, that was a good special play as well. But the icing on the cake was that Ben Roethlisberger game-winning drive when he hit Santonio Holmes in the corner in the end zone. That touchdown catch, that was incredible. That
Big
was
Ben
incredible.
used to have a rocket on him, man. Big Ben, he used to be nice before he stayed in the league way too long. It was nice. It was nice.
Yeah, that Pittsburgh, his years with the Pittsburgh Steelers are really fun to watch, and he was just like a unique guy, being a bigger guy in the pocket, being actually not, I wouldn't say he's mobile, but he's pretty durable for his size.
He was.
And make a lot of plays with his legs.
He used to take some hits. But then he started, like I said, he just overstayed his welcome. And I think that kind of hurt his legacy a little bit because people base his career off of those them last few years that he was being awful in Pittsburgh. You know, it's I don't think that's fair to, you know, when people take that into consideration of his legacy and all of that. So I'm glad you picked that game.
Yeah. then the final one, me and you actually thought of like that. That Seattle Seahawks and Patriots latest Super Bowl matchup, that was a classic. I mean, I was sitting there watching like, oh, they got this in the bag. We handed off to Marshawn Lynch. You Super Bowl champions again.
Boom. Yeah, it was wrapped up. It was wrapped up.
And I think why it's so iconic to this day is because everybody's reaction off that play. Yeah, Richard Sherman acted like somebody died on the sideline. He turned into an all-time meme with that face, and then Marshawn Lynch laughing about it in interviews that you see, and Tom Brady jumping up like a kid on Christmas, about to open his first big gift, jumping up and down because he knew he lost that game, but things happen.
That was insane. I'll never forget that, and that was a hell of a run too with the Seahawks that year too.
Yeah.
They was good all year. Patriots was obviously as good as they were all year, and that was a crazy. I just can't believe that game ended like that. That's something I never forget, man. I'm glad I got to witness that. I'll put it that way. That was an iconic moment.
Yeah, that was a really good game. Really good game. But we're gonna move on to the next segment. We're going to do our NFL offensive start bench cut game. Now, I want to do offense and defense, but I'm going to say defense maybe for the next time you come on. But this offensive game, I do have some quarterback, wide receiver, running back, and tight end. So we're going to start off with the quarterbacks. This first one, start bench cut, Manny. You got Tom Brady, Patrick Mahomes, or Joe Montana. How you lining that one?
Oh, my God. Damn, I wasn't expecting that. Oh, man. All right. Yeah, Tom Brady, Pat Mahomes, Joe Montana. I'm starting. Damn. All right. I'm going to start Tom Brady. I'm going to cut Joe Montana. It's tough to do, and then I'm going to bench Pat Mahomes. It's tough to do, man, but I'll say that because I've seen more Tom Brady in Mahomes than I've seen in Joe Montana. Obviously, Joe Montana is the legend, a Hall of Famer. Like, it's Joe Montana, so it makes it a tough decision. But in terms of just the way the game has evolved, I think I'm going to go Pat Mahomes to come off the bench, and then Tom Brady to start that for me because Tom Brady's champion. That man won 6, 7. That man is the GOAT. He's the GOAT. So he's definitely going to be on this team for sure. So, and I think Pat Mahomes is right behind him. So,
yeah, I agree with you. This one was tough. I mean, you can't. To me, Tom Brady is the greatest football player ever put on a pair of pads because, like you said, seven Super Bowls. That's more than any franchise in the NFL history right now. So
that is insane.
I got to start.
That's insane. That's something people will probably never see again.
No. Oh, I see. That's the thing. That is true. That might be true. But Mahomes, I have that feeling about Mahomes. It's like I don't want to say it, but like this is gonna turn. I feel like if Mahomes keeps doing it at this level consistently, I feel like it's gonna be like another LeBron and Michael Jordan discussion all over again. Because Mahomes,
I agree with you. And Mahomes he's become, especially in the AFC, bro, he's become that guy you got to get through in order to win. Like, he's stopping everybody's favorite quarterback from going on to get a ring. Like,
this is true.
People love Josh Allen. He can't get past Mahomes. People love Lamar Jackson. He can't get past Mahomes. People love Joe Burrow. He got past Mahomes once, but he can't keep getting past him. Like, you got to go through him. You got to go through Mahomes if you want to be a champion. And, bruh, like, I don't know. I think he's definitely one of the closest. If I had to put faith in anybody to go catch Tom Brady in terms of championships, it would easily be Mahomes. I wouldn't even think about no other person to possibly catch Tom Brady in terms of winning championships.
Yeah, I agree with that. And that's why I said that what Tom Brady did is special, but it's going to be interesting to see how this goes. But yeah, I agree. I think right now those are my top three quarterbacks of all time: Brady, Mahomes, and Montana. But I'll put Mahomes over Montana because I think Mahomes is a more mobile guy, and he has one of the best arms I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Quarterback. I mean, the man has a rocket. And he's nearly caught Joe Montana in playoff wins. Right now, Patrick Mahomes already has 13, and Montana has 16. The only thing really is the rings, and Mahomes might get another one by the end of next weekend. So it'll be 4-3 in favor of Montana. But, man, that was a hard one. I agree with you. Start Brady, bench Mahomes, cut Montana, as hard as that is to say.
Yeah, that's a tough one for sure.
We got one more quarterback one. Start, bench, cut. Peyton Manning, Aaron Rodgers, Dan Marino.
Oh!
How you like
all right. I'm going to start Dan Marino. I'm a bench Peyton Manning. And I gotta cut Aaron Rodgers, man. I gotta cut Aaron Rodgers. I love Aaron Rodgers, but I gotta cut him. I gotta cut him. I'm a bench Dan Marino. I'm gonna start Peyton Manning, and then Aaron Rodgers. I gotta give him the scissors, bro. I got to, man. This is a tough one, but man, I can't really say. I can't even make a comparison of who's better because they're all so similar, bro. They're all so similar. I think Aaron Rodgers does have probably the best arm that I've seen out of them, but then you bring up Peyton Manning, and it's like, bro, I don't know. I don't know. So, yeah, this is a tough one. But I'm going to go start Peyton Manning. No, I said that wrong. I'm going to go start Dan Marino, bench Peyton Manning, and then I got to cut Aaron Rodgers. Yeah. That's a tough one, but that's my lineup. I'm gonna go there.
So mine, I would have to say for this one, because like I just said, I gave you my top three quarterbacks of all time. After Montana, I have 4 Peyton, 5 Rodgers, and 6 Marino. So I would have to go start Manning, bench Rodgers, cut Marino. But it's so close. I think like Dan Marino was that guy, and all three of them were that. But I look at the accolades of what they did. Like Peyton Manning ended up having 5 MVPs. Rodgers has 4. That's a combined 9 MVPs. And then the thing, like Marino did. That's the only thing about Dan Marino. If he just had at least 2 rings or at least 1 ring, I think that's really what hurts him in terms of where you stack him up in terms of all-time quarterbacks. But like I said, I have him number 6 all-time on my list. But the talent was always there. But I would always just trust Peyton Manning and Aaron Rodgers in bigger moments compared to Dan Marino. And like you said, I do believe Aaron Rodgers, in my perspective, I think he has the best quarterback arm I've ever seen of all time.
Yeah.
From the throws, the precision in the pocket that he makes, the plays, the awareness, he has it all. I think in terms, I'm not saying he's the best, but I'm saying in terms of like pocket awareness and like picture perfect throws, Aaron Rodgers, man, he's that guy.
He is there. He puts it on the money, and I didn't want to choose it off rings. Strictly because usually whenever I'm talking about someone being the greatest, I try and avoid
the rings,
the championships and the rings. And it's hard to do because it's like a thin line of like, okay, well, he had championships, this guy didn't. This guy had skill, this guy didn't have championship. It's a super thin line, but I tried. That's part of the reason why I went Dan Marino to start, Peyton Manning at number 2 off the bench. And is this the same one? No. Yeah, and then Aaron Rodgers getting cut. It's that's part of the reason why I went that way, because I don't want to base it strictly off rings. I want to go a different avenue here.
I respect that. So next 2 are gonna be running backs. This one was hard to think of. All right.
Okay, let's do it. I'm ready.
Running backs: Barry Sanders, Walter Payton, Jim Brown. Start, bench, cut.
All right, I'm gonna go. Barry Sanders is starting for sure. Barry is starting, bro, 1,000%. You said Barry Sanders, Walter Payton, or Jim Brown?
Yeah.
Damn, Jim Brown is a two-sport athlete. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah,
Right?
he is.
Two-sport. Ooh. All right, let's do this. I'm gonna go Barry Sanders, Walter Payton to come off the bench, and then I gotta cut Jim Brown. Mm-hmm. So the only reason I'm gonna go this route is because Barry Sanders, he's the starter. He's gonna make a way of nothing, and if I have an O-line, he's damn sure gonna make sure I score every single time, either with or without an O-line. Then I'm gonna go Walter Payton just because if he's getting them extra reps when Barry ain't in the game, Walter Payton is bringing it to you every time. He's coming at you full throttle. He's gonna beat down on the defense trying to tackle him. So I'm gonna go there. And then not to say Jim Brown won't do the same thing, but I also like Walter Payton too. So I'm a little bit biased here, but I'm gonna go Barry Sanders to start for sure. Then Walter Payton at the 2, and then Jim Brown. He's got to get decisions. I got to cut him off the roster. Unfortunately, I ain't got no room for him no more, man. All my running back positions is full.
Yeah, I would go the same route. Start Barry, bench Walter, cut Jim. I really do think that Barry Sanders is the greatest running back of all time. I think he just retired so early, unfortunately. I know that comes with the reason of him not winning and him being frustrated, but if he just kept going, I don't even think we would have a conversation of Emmitt Smith being the all-time leading rusher in NFL history. That would really go to Barry Sanders. But
no.
The man,
go ahead, my bad. Oh, okay. I was gonna say, and the thing with Emmitt Smith, man, Emmitt Smith, bro, you could have put a 400-pound man in the backfield with the Cowboys during that time, bro, and they could have ran through the holes that old line was making for Emmitt Smith, bro. Like I looked at the roster. I don't remember what I was doing. I think I was in the segments of looking up like all-time teams, bro. This man had like two. I want to say the center and the guard were both all pros. And then I also had another all-pro tight end as well, like to help out. So I'm like, bro, that's crazy, bro. Anytime you got one all-pro on your offensive line, that's a great thing. But you got a center and a guard that's both all-pros. Like, come on, man. And then they used to just make the hose was easy for him. It was not necessary for him to do all the moving back and forth like Barry Sanders because the hose was right there for him. Barry Sanders ain't had no hose. He had to create something out of nothing, and he did. But Emmitt Smith, he ain't had to do that. So I say all that to say I 1,000% agree with you in terms of I don't think he would be the leading rusher and all of that if Barry Sanders continued to play the game.
Yeah, that's true. And but like looking at Walter Payton, I think he's one of the most athletic running backs of all time. I definitely can't cut him. But shout out to Jim Brown. Jim Brown is in the conversation for being one of the best running backs of all time. But I just feel like Barry Sanders and Walter Payton just had the finesse of a running back to get it done, be a hard runner, and get it done in the backfield, catching passes as well, making phenomenal plays. But Jim Brown's era is just like, yes, he's an all-time great, but like that era of the NFL, like it wasn't as dynamic as what Walter Payton and Barry Sanders were going through. So that's why I cut Jim Brown.
That is very, very true. It's different type of game a little bit.
Yeah. The next running backs is really of our era in the 2010s. Start, bench, cut. Adrian Peterson, Frank Gore, or LaShawn McCoy.
All right. I know where I'm going. I know where I'm going, though. These were all animals, but I'm going to start Adrian Peterson. Is starting for sure. 1,000% starting. LaShawn McCoy is coming off the bench, and I got to give Frank Gore the boot, man. I ain't got enough space on my roster for Frank Gore. I used to love Frank Gore, but, bro, I'm going to put AP in there because I think AP, when I was really, really getting into football, bro, AP, he made that running back position glorious, bro, and that man did everything from the running back position. He could catch, he could block, he ran with power, he ran with finesse, he had the speed. Like, it was a combination of everything you could ask for at the running back position to me, and it was just mind-blowing to watch Adrian Peterson during his prime. And then leaving that and then going to LaShawn McCoy, I loved him because to me, he was like he gave me the Barry Sanders vibes. Like, footwork was impeccable. Like, could cut up on anybody and, like, could make a way out of no way. Yeah, he did have a line at certain times, but, bro, crazy amount of speed. But I just loved the footwork that he had, bro, and he had a lot of finesse in his game. And, bro, I'll never forget, man. It was a game. I don't remember the exact season, but this man was playing in the snow. He's playing in the snow against the Lions. This is when he was with the Eagles. And, bruh, I witnessed this man cut up, and I didn't think it was as possible to I guess, I don't know. I guess I had never seen it before, but I didn't think it was possible to cut up that much in the snow, bruh. And this man was still just chopping every single defender, like, even in the snow. And I'm like, bruh, this man this is greatness, bruh. Like, this is greatness. And even early in his career, it was like that. So I'm going to go Adrian Peterson to start, LaShawn McCoy coming off the bench, and then Frank Gore. Definitely a legend. I love his running style as well, but I got to cut him.
Yeah, I agree with you. I would go with the Adrian Peterson part. I agree. You got to start him no matter what. I would start Adrian Peterson, bench Frank Gore. I would cut LaShawn McCoy. Now that's really close. But I'll start with Adrian Peterson. See, Adrian Peterson, I agree with you. That man was everything at the running back position.
Absolutely.
I remember when he tore his ACL, and then the next season in 2012, 2013 season came back, won NFL MVP award. The man was phenomenal. Right. Adrian Peterson was an absolute fun running back to watch. But see, the thing with Frank Gore, I like both LaShawn McCoy and Frank Gore. Frank Gore was just such a hard physical runner. Yeah. I felt like his prime lasted just a little bit more than LaShawn McCoy. I think one of the real problems was when Chip Kelly came to Philly back then. I think he kind of hurt LaShawn McCoy in his prime because, like, he really wasn't being as productive as he really was. Like, with several other coaches, Andy Reid and other people that had LaShawn McCoy to use. Yeah, and I just feel like I would lean towards Frank Gore more because he was more dependable to me. And I just feel like he was just a little bit more better than LaShawn McCoy. Now, when you talk about players that can make plays in open field, I would take LaShawn McCoy and that advantage over Frank Gore. But, yeah, I have to go with Adrian Peterson and Frank Gore because what they did in the backfield, both are top 5 all-time rushing yards, both physical, hard runners. But LaShawn McCoy, man, he was special. I still got beef with him right now. How he be on that, being a sports analyst, talking about Dak. But that's a different story for a different day. But yeah, man. Next one. I know we're going as fast as possible. Okay. I know you're coming. Wide receivers. This one's good too. Start, bench, cut. Jerry Rice, Randy Moss, or Terrell Owens?
All right, I'm going to go. Oh, this is a tough one. All right, I'm going to start Randy Moss, bro. I'm starting Randy Moss. That man was unguardable. That was just not fair, bro. And I'm going to explain why in a sec. I'm going to bench Jerry Rice, and then I'm going to cut T.O. But here's the reason I say Randy Moss has to start, bro. I'm starting Randy Moss off the simple fact that we named the move after him. Moss. You got Moss. It's like,
this is true.
This has been going. How long he been retired? He's been retired for years.
Yeah.
And that's something that's gonna live forever. Oh damn, you got Moss. And it's like, I remember early on as a kid, bro, when I was first getting into football, I remember I didn't really understand. I didn't understand what that necessarily meant. Like, oh, you got Moss. Yeah. I just thought it was a thing. Like, hey, he grabbed it from over your head and scored. But, bruh, as I got into football more, I'm like, this is why you say you got Moss. Like, you just throw the ball to him and he catch it. Like, just throw it up and he got it. That's a touchdown. Like, I'm going Randy Moss to start because I need that type of weapon at quarterback. Put 2 defenders on him, it don't matter. He going to jump over your head and catch it. And there's another guy that comes to mind when I think of something like that, but you might possibly have it up anyway. But then I'm going to go Jerry Rice as well because he's undeniably one of the best receivers to ever play the game. So I got to go Jerry Rice. And then, man, T.O., I love T.O., but I got to cut him. Man. T.O. was a great route runner. I thought he had a lot of speed on him as well, and could definitely make some big plays. And then, like I was mentioning with Randy Moss too, he could for sure go up and grab it over your head also. Yeah. But I gotta cut him in this. I gotta cut him in this scenario here.
Oh man, you made some good points about Randy Moss, man. I mean, he is one of my all-time greats at the wide receiver position. But I gotta start Jerry Rice. I gotta bench Randy Moss and cut Terrell Owens. To me, Jerry Rice, I think he's just the best wide receiver of all time. But Randy Moss is the second best wide receiver of all time. I won't ever discredit Randy Moss. And that Moss, like you got Moss, like you said, that is going to go on for generations and generations because of the things and plays he made in the NFL. But, man, that's really tough. But my boy Terrell Owens, I got to cut him. But Terrell Owens was a special player as well. I would put him in the top 5 conversation for me of all time wide receivers too. But the man was a special player. Get your popcorn ready. But I just think Randy Moss was just a better player than Terrell Owens. He was a better route runner, faster player. Teams feared him more. And like you said, that you got Moss. Just made more better freakish plays than Terrell Owens. But that's how I would do it. Jerry Rice's legacy. It will be really hard for another wide receiver, I think, to duplicate what he did in the NFL. But, yeah, that's good. That's a lot of really good points you have for Randy Moss, though.
Now, I'm curious. Is there another receiver around, or is this it? I'm curious for a particular reason.
No, we got one more wide receiver.
Okay, all right, bet.
This one also is in the 2010s too. So
I already know who's coming up, and he's starting.
All right, man. Start bench cut. Calvin Johnson.
Starting.
Antonio Brown.
Starting.
Julio Jones.
Starting, bro. I am starting Calvin Johnson. He's up there. You said it last round, and that's who I was talking about when I was like, there's another guy that comes to mind when I was saying all these things about Randy Moss. Calvin Johnson. Throw it up. He's got it. Unguardable. Put 2 defenders on him. Put 3 defenders on him. Unguardable. I'm starting Calvin Johnson. I'm benching Julio Jones because Julio Jones is from that same breed, bro. Them receivers, they be like 6'4 plus, like super lanky, can jump out the gym. Like, bro, you can't do nothing with that. I know Antonio Brown was an insane route runner and had crazy speed. I did like Antonio Brown, but I got to cut him in this scenario, bro. I'm starting Calvin Johnson. I'm benching Julio Jones, and then I'm cutting Antonio Brown. I got to let him go. Got to let him go.
Calvin is in that. I would say Calvin's in my top 5 too of all time.
He's up there.
But I'm starting Calvin. I got to bench Antonio Brown. And prime Antonio Brown was insane. Prime Antonio Brown, Steelers days was insane. I got to bench Julio. But yeah, Calvin Johnson, he was really unguardable. He was fast. He was athletic as hell. Great route runner, like you said, just like Randy Moss, a jump ball guy that you throw it up to him 99.9% of the time, he's gonna snag it down and get you that big time catch that you're looking for. But that's another Lions player that retired way too soon, way before his end days were coming out of his prime, just 31 years old when he retired. That actually took me by shock in the later 2010s when he retired. But the reason why I got to go with Antonio Brown over Julio, Julio had the same traits as Calvin of being that big-time, dependable wide receiver that will get you a jump ball and get you the ball when it matters. But prime Antonio Brown with the Steelers, I think that's one of the best wide receivers of this generation. I mean, I think he was just a better route runner than Julio. I think he was more faster than Julio, more reliable hands than Julio. Not saying Julio didn't make the reliable play. Right. You throw the ball to Antonio Brown, as long as that ball ain't going out of bounds and it's contested, Antonio Brown coming down with it and making a play afterwards with yards after catch. But really, Antonio Brown in his prime, I didn't see not really one flaw in his game. The only flaw I will say is his off the field issue.
I knew it. I knew it was coming.
I don't know. The man is so intelligent on the football field. I'm not disrespecting him, but like his off the field decisions are just dumb as hell. Like
it's awful, bro. It's awful. It definitely hurts his legacy. He's one of those guys you have to really, really separate on the field and off the field when you're talking about what he did in the game of football. Because, like you said, bro, the talent was undeniable. Clearly one of the best receivers, if not the best receiver of this generation, especially in that era. But, bro, the off-the-field decisions was silly. The off-the-field decisions was wild.
And I think really, now I think about it, after the Steelers days, that's when you really saw the true colors of Antonio Brown, because if he just kept his mouth shut and they fixed a few more things, like the big three, the big B's of Ben Roethlisberger, Le'Veon Bell, and Antonio Brown. If they paid Le'Veon Bell that money that he wanted just one time, and then if he didn't deliver, you could possibly trade him. And they built around that team, continue to do that. I think the Steelers would have won a championship with those three, Mike Tomlin, and they ramped up that defense as they did when they got T.J. Watt and they were bringing in several others. Man, that was a missed opportunity.
They had a shot, bro. They had the personnel for a shot, for sure.
Yeah. But it all started with Antonio Brown not shutting his mouth. And then you saw it was a carousel when he went. Now, he did get his ring. He did get his one only ring with Tom Brady. But
you go play with Tom Brady, you got a 75% chance of winning the ring. Especially at that time when Tom Brady was in there, ain't nobody was messing with him. But yeah, AB, he was up there. He was up there for sure. So I'm not even mad at him going to the bench over Julio Jones. I ain't mad at that.
But last one before we move on to the final segment. This one be tight ends. This is only one for tight ends. Start bench cut. Rob Gronkowski, Tony Gonzalez, Travis Kelce. How you line that up, man?
Oh, man, this is tough. All right, a lot of this is going to depend on how my team is already set up. But, Rob Gronkowski, Tony Gonzalez, and Travis Kelce.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to go give me, as a starter, Rob Gronkowski.
Okay.
He has to start. I'm going to bench Travis Kelce, and then I got to cut the OG, one of the greatest tight ends ever, bro, Tony Gonzalez, bro. I have to cut him, man. And I simply say I'm going to cut him because Rob Gronkowski, he's catching everything. He's catching every single thing that goes toward him. He's bigger than both of the guys that I just named, Tony Gonzalez and Travis Kelce. Huge dude, and he's untackleable. You can't tackle this man once he has the ball. Very difficult to tackle. So he's taking it an extra 7 yards minimum every time he catches the ball. And then I'm going to go Travis Kelce on the bench just because I think Travis Kelce got a little bit more speed than Tony Gonzalez. Tony Gonzalez had some wheels for his position at the time, but I think Travis Kelce got a little bit more wheels than Gonzalez had at that time. So I'm going to have to cut Tony Gonzalez, even though he one of the best tight ends to ever do it. Catching wise, they all can catch. They all can run routes great. They all can block great. But size and being the difficulty of tackling, gotta go Rob Gronkowski to start. Bench, going Travis Kelce. Also, IQ standpoint, definitely up there, one of the smartest to ever play at that tight end position. And then I'm gonna cut Tony Gonzalez. That's how it's gonna be.
That one was tough, but I 100% agree with you. I gotta start Gronk. I gotta bench Travis Kelce, and I gotta cut Tony Gonzalez because I feel like we're on that path of not only talk about Tom Brady and Patrick Mahomes one day of who's gonna retire as an all-time great, but I think we're on the same conversation, the same path of who's gonna be the greatest tight end when it's all said and done for Travis Kelce's career, because I think Travis Kelce is right behind Gronk in terms of being one of the greatest tight ends of all time. But I feel like Gronk, he's that old reliable, Tom Brady's favorite security blanket of all time, a nightmare to guard when healthy, and really, other than Tom Brady, he was the best football player on the field when he was healthy. But I think Travis Kelce, I have to go with Travis Kelce benching him. I think he's one of the most clutch players in postseason history. Now has the most postseason catches in NFL history.
Crazy.
He's already starting to come for Tony Gonzalez's all of his Chiefs records now. And Travis Kelce still, if he wants to continue to play, I think we're gonna have that. I think he's gonna have that thought of just like Jason, if he's gonna retire after the season. I mean, he's got a lot going on now. You're dating the most popular person in all of music, and Taylor Swift. I mean, but if he continues, I think we could have this conversation within the next 2 to 3 years. Okay, is he better than Gronk? Is he the all-time great? But Tony Gonzalez, he's another guy that was a possession guy, a great blocker, dependable guy. But Travis Kelce, I think he's just put his stamp of being the second best tight end of all time behind Gronk. Right?
Yeah, I think I got Gronk up there is probably the best tight end I've ever watched play. I mean, Travis Kelce, he's got qualities about him that's definitely there, but Gronk, bro, it's really just because the man was so hard to tackle, bro. And early on in his career, he wasn't as slow as he looked to be in the back end of his career too. Like, I ain't saying he was the fastest tight end around, but he just wasn't super slow. So I'm gonna leave it there.
I agree with that too. But yeah, the next time you come on, we definitely got to talk about an NFL start bench cut of defensive players. I think that would be just as fun as this one. But yeah, that was a good one.
Oh yeah.
But before we get on to the final segment, we're going to take the time to mention my partnership and Manny's partnership with Sharp Sports Betting. Sharps is a sports betting network best used for all sports bettors around the world. Sharps allows you to link your sports books, including DraftKings, FanDuel, BetMGM, and ESPN Bets. Sharps also allows you to track your win-loss record and currently see what your friends are currently betting. Sharps also offers free transparency. You can download Sharps today on all Apple and Android devices. Download Sharps today by using promo code TOM as in TH661. That would help us out. And then you guys can help Manny with his promo code as well, as in the R as in THER444. Download Sharps and help me and Manny out. That'd be grateful for both my platform and Manny's podcast platform. But yeah, did I get it right? That I know last time I got that wrong with your promo code. It is the R and then 444, right?
Okay. Yeah, you got it right.
I'm just making sure. All right. But yeah, Manny, what's your best sports bets of the week?
Man, sports bets, I would go easily. I think this is a must for anybody out there who's betting sports. You better go Travis Kelce anytime touchdown score. This better be a must. And I would even stack that in the same game parlay with Christian McCaffrey touchdown score, anytime touchdown score. Actually, I would even get as bold as going first half touchdown score for both of them, because I know I only say first half just because you might get a little bit better odds. I think as the season has went on, the NFL and all these betting apps then kind of caught on to Travis Kelce scoring each game or Christian McCaffrey scoring each game. So I would say put a time limit on it. This is not recommended. I don't like recommending bets, but if I was betting on it, this is what I would do. I'd go Christian McCaffrey anytime touchdown score within the first half, and Travis Kelce anytime touchdown score within the first half as well. Those are like my sweet spots. Outside of that, let's go Pat Mahomes, 200-plus yards. I think that's pretty much guaranteed right there. Even Brock Purdy, this may be a little bit of a risk. I don't know what the odds are looking like on there, but I think we could go Brock Purdy 200-plus passing yards as well on there. But I think that's kind of where I tap out in terms of the sports betting. And then to cap it all off, Chiefs money line, if you really want to get funny like that. You could just drop the Chiefs money line. I got faith in the Chiefs to win this ball game. So, yeah, those would be my bets. That's all I got.
That first half of Christian McCaffrey and Travis Kelce, that's a real intriguing one to play. I might have to put that down on my part.
Yeah. I think I might throw it down too, honestly. I don't know for sure, because every time I bet is, people want to start tweaking out. That's when everybody want to have their worst game as soon as I bet. But so that's why I'm like, I don't know, man. I'll be tired of betting because that happened to me all the time. But yeah, I think it's good though. All my bets are usually always kind of precise or realistic, but I don't know. It just be the Knights, I guess. Who knows?
Yeah. I got similar ones to you for the Super Bowl. I have Chiefs money line. Christian McCaffrey is always good for a touchdown. Anytime touchdown score, I have that. Touchdown animal all season, postseason, you name it. He's always finds himself in the end zone. I got Travis Kelce, anytime touchdown scorer. He's going to be Patrick Mahomes' most reliable target in the Super Bowl. And his woman, Taylor Swift, is going to be going nuts in that box. And that sky box when he touches that ball anytime. So he's definitely going to put one on for her and the team. I like the running game going up. Isaiah Pacheco at least getting 67 rushing yards. What I've noticed in the defense Aaron Jones had a successful game against them in the division round. Then the 1-2 punch of Gibbs and Montgomery had success against them in the NFC Championship game. Like you said, I do believe Patrick Mahomes is good for 200-plus yards passing. But I used a free bet off of this.
Ooh.
Everything, $15 will win you $122. That's something slight.
Okay.
But I'm gonna put that into the first half. I'm gonna play my parlay. I'm gonna go with your
Okay.
eyes. Now I'm gonna
All
trust
right.
you.
Now you gotta let me know. Hey, don't.
No. I know.
But you gotta let me know if it. I don't. I'm gonna hold my bet specifically for you because I know anytime I put money down is when people want to lose. They want to forget how to play football, basketball, baseball, whatever I'm betting on. They just forget how to play. As soon as I be like, all right, let me take $20 and put it down on it. That's what they like. Oh no, I don't feel like playing baseball today. Nope, I'm good. So I'm gonna hold my money for you, and I'm gonna hope that you win. And I hope my bet hit too. I hope it does hit.
Yeah, that first half for both of them sounds really good because I know it could be. I think it's going to be a really close game all the way, but I think like in the first half, you're gonna have to have your best players make big time plays and big time moments early on in the game. But let me check it. I'm looking at the NBA scores. I had a NBA parlay going on for tonight's action in the NBA. So, this is something slight as well. My NBA best tonight, I got the Heat and Magic are playing right now. I didn't pick a winner of this game because I think that's a 50-50 game on a regular night of basketball. But I have Paolo Panchiro. I have him getting 5 assists in that game against the Heat. I think he's good for that. Jimmy Butler as well. I think since we got Scary Terry, Jimmy Butler. I think he's really having a point guard role. I think he's always played like that with the Miami Heat.
Yeah.
Establish others to get going, then he's going to get his. So he's actually good. I do believe he's good at least to get 4 assists tonight. I got the Knicks money line against the Memphis Grizzlies. The Knicks are one of the hottest teams in the NBA.
Yeah.
Memphis is still trying to figure things out with their core, and I know losing John Morant for the rest of the season really hurt them. For the later night game and between the Suns and the Bucks, I got Devin Booker at least going for 25 points or more against the Milwaukee Bucks. He's been a scoring machine. I think a week or so ago he had a 62-point performance.
Yeah,
they lost that game, didn't they?
Yeah, I think they did. I know Embiid, they won. Somebody won. Luka won his game. Luka won his.
That was one hell of a performance.
Yeah, because it was like 3 people that put up like 50 or 60. It was crazy. All in the span of like 2 days or something. It was like 3 people that put up 50 plus or something. It was wild. But I know Luka won his, so I think they did lose.
Oh, it was also I was thinking about that too. What's his name out in Minnesota? Karl Anthony Towns. He had like 62.
Yeah,
they lost that.
And they lost.
Game. Yeah,
yep.
It's crazy though.
Yeah, that was insane that they lost that.
But yeah, I think Devin Booker is good for at least 25 plus against the Bucks tonight, and I got Nurkic getting at least 4 assists tonight against the Bucks. I like the assist odds tonight. I'm an assist guy tonight. Normally it's scoring, but I see when I make NBA parlays right now, I'm like a kid cooking ramen noodles for the first time and ending up burning them. I'm not happy with that. So with football ending, I gotta get good on NBA again. So I think I'm gonna find my footing tonight, hopefully with small assist numbers, and then Devin Booker relying on his big time scoring performance. The Knicks should take care of business against the Grizzlies. They don't.
If see, this is what I be saying. I'm gonna use this as an example. This is what I always say. Like it be bets like this. I'm like, all right, bet. Knicks, they play Grizzlies. Grizzlies, they pretty trash right now. Knicks are on a hot streak. They've been balling out. They've been beating good teams. So I'm like, all right, bet. Let me do a money line on the Knicks or something. Or Jalen Brunson, 20-plus points. Like, something that's kind of light. And all of a sudden, it'd be the night where you'd be like, bruh, Jalen Brunson has 7 points. Yeah. The Knicks are down 22 against the Ja Morantless Memphis Grizzlies. I'd be like, bro, what? Like, are you serious? I swear that's the type of stuff that be happening to me whenever I decide I'm going to bet on a game. I'll be like, bro, this makes no sense. Like, what happened, bro? Like, what happened to this
That's
team?
why said, I'm like, I feel like I'm cooking something good in the kitchen, but then I end up burning the 5-course meal because the same thing has happened to me several times. Like I put the big time on, like the big time favorites against the little underdogs, and everything on my bet hits. But then, okay, like one time I had the Nuggets against the Rockets. I had the Nuggets money. They got destroyed. And then one time, I remember I said on the podcast, I was like, "Yeah, I got the Bucks over the Raptors. They were getting killed by 35 points." So I gotta get back on my high horse with football and then basketball really being the main sport now. Like for me betting wise, but based off the parlay, I said $10 will win you $76 if you're interested in playing that tonight. But yeah, those are my sports bets this week in the world of sports.
All right, I'm gonna wish you the best of luck because I think they sound good. They sound good at least. I think so.
Yeah. So. But thanks again, Manny, for coming on tonight. If you guys are interested in more sports podcasts around the world, check out Manny Wilson's. He is the host of the Run podcast, coming all the way from Chicago. Manny is one hell of a guy. He covers a lot of sports as well on his sports podcast. Thanks again, Manny, for coming on my show tonight. We always have fun, and maybe one day you come back on in the near future. And I enjoyed coming on your platform as well in the past, so maybe I can come and make an appearance again on the Run podcast.
Absolutely, man. Well, first, I appreciate being here, bro. I appreciate you extending the invitation. And yes, I definitely got to get you back on the podcast. But I want you to know right now, it is all a me thing. It's not on you of why you haven't been back on since the last time. It's really just been me in terms of working out the schedule and like.
Oh, you good, bro?
Just multitasking between my content and also like bringing people on and trying to find a good time slot. So it's really just been on me. But I definitely got to get you back, and I'm a try. I got to look into it even more, bro, because I got to get you back on definitely, bro. Because it was a great episode last time I had you on. So I'm looking forward to getting you back on at some point. But stay by your phone. Just stay by your phone. Because I ain't forgot. I definitely ain't forgot. So I'll let you know.
All right, bro. Appreciate that.
Of course, man. I appreciate you having me on, man. And we're going to be back at it at some point. We're going to be back at it. Next time on my platform.
All right. We're going to go ahead and wrap things up. That is all the time I have for you guys this week. This is your host, Thomas Tyree, and the host of the Run podcast, Manny Wilson, signing off. Thank you guys for watching, listening, and I'll see you guys on next week's episode. Thanks again, man.
Of course, bro. Thanks for having me.